everybody, welcome back to the Raw Read. I am so glad you decided to stop by and see what I'm reading on. But before I get started, you already know, got to do it, got to do it. And that is to invite you to be part of this community. Let me tell you, we are the best over here. And yeah, I might be bragging a little bit, but I have reasons to brag. If you don't believe that I have reasons to brag, go in the comments. You are going to meet the most terrific people. They're smart. They're just insightful. They are just everything. I kid you not. And when you come out, you're going to want to be a part of this community. And what you need to do is to go down in those settings, look around, find that subscribe button, and go ahead on and subscribe. And while you're in there, hit your notification bell too, so you'll know when I upload or when I just want to pop in. And give me a thumbs up to fight my nemesis, the beast, the algorithm. Woo, child, it continues to dog me. I'm telling you, sometimes it be dog walking me, y'all. So keep those thumbs up coming. Also, I just want to thank all of the readers who decide to support the channel by watching the commercials. I know it's not easy. I know it's not fun, but let me tell you, it really, really helps the channel, and I'm so appreciative. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Also, right in the corner, that's our join button. That's for channel memberships. And if you choose to become a channel member and a part of the reading club, you will be supporting my channel to grow, to improve, and to continue. And I will be so grateful, so thankful, so over the moon appreciative to have that support. Also, if you just want to do a one-time donation, look in the opposite corner. That's our super thanks. And all donations to the channel is always, always greatly appreciated. All right, y'all, I do have a shout out. I want to shout out Tiger Mommy. Tiger Mommy, thank you, thank you, thank you for the super thanks. Thank you for absolutely supporting the channel, just being unwavering, supporting this channel. It means so, so very much. You are one of the bedrocks of this channel, and I appreciate you. I do. And I just am so lucky to have you. So I'm going to play something, and then we will come back on the other side. All right. I just want to say another thank you, thank you, thank you to Tiger Mommy. Just thank you for being a part of this community. That's the most important thing to me, that y'all are a part of this community. Y'all mean so much to me. I cannot tell you. And Tiger Mommy has been with me, I'm telling you, from the beginning almost. And I am so appreciative for her unwavering support. All right. Y'all know what time it is. It's time for the read, and y'all know what I do when I am putting the read together. I hit these internet streets, and that's exactly what I have been doing. Now, I must admit that I have not been on all the social media platforms because, as you probably can hear, I am still battling this cold that I got. And I'm telling you, sometimes I think it is whooping my butt. It really is. But like I said, I am absolutely powering through. So basically, I'm just going on my two favorite social media platforms, and that would be Instagram, seeing what the Instagram squatties are talking about. And of course, I go on X, formerly known as Twitter, my home away from home, the place where I lovingly call the sewer. Yes, I was there. And when I was not napping, I'm telling you, this medication that I'm taking has me napping so much. When I'm not napping, I was on these internet streets. And we have quite a bit to talk about. But it is a hodgepodge of things, meaning that the squatties are talking about all different kinds of stuff. It is no running theme that the squatties are all talking about one thing. They're still talking about Harry. They're talking about Meghan's interview, I think, with Fast Company. I think that was the name of the online magazine. They're talking about Charles and his horse in Canada and how his horse is just an embarrassment. She is just as common as dirt. I'm just saying. And of course, they're still talking about William and Kate back on vacation. I kid you not. But this is no surprise. Squatties predicted this when they saw William and Kate work 2 days in a row. It was the chatter online. It was the chatter in these internet streets. It was the word on the curb that they were going to go on vacation after those 2 days, those 2 grueling days of events, of engagements. And that's exactly what they did. I feel sorry for the people of Great Britain. They have to dish out their money, and it's not freely, they're not freely giving their money. This is required constitutional wise. This is Parliament demanding that these tax dollars go to this family. And they have to put up with this nonsense, this absolute freeloading off of the taxpayer. It's embarrassing to say the least. But yes, they're back on vacation. And we just have a lot of different things. This one woman, Vanessa, what's her name? Feltz? I think that's her name. She has a television show that comes on after Jeremy Vine. I think it's somehow associated with Jeremy Vine. She out in these internet streets lying on Omid Scobie, lying on Meghan, and we're going to talk about that. And let's see, what else are we going to talk about? Well, the Daily Fail in Meghan's business. And when I say her business, I mean literally her business as ever. So we're going to talk about that. So we had a lot to talk about, so let's get to it. So I am going to start with this. So I'm going to put this up. And this particular squatty reposted something from Not My King, and it's about Charles and his horse. They have left Canada. Their historic visit has come to an end. And let me tell you, it was a dud. I am sure that about 75% of Canadians did not even know that they were there. Because at the end of the day, who cares? Who really cares about a man and his horse? Who really cares? I'm just saying. All right. Not My King said this. Camilla leads the way home. What are they talking about? They're talking about Camilla on the tarmac looking like she's in a dementia unit and she is a dementia patient wandering around, not knowing where she's at, looking for her invisible dog. This is really getting to be concerning. Camilla doesn't know what she's doing half of the time. Charles has to literally direct her. She had to come back and do all the handshaking after he signaled to her that she needed to come back. Camilla has something going on with her. I don't know if it has anything to do with the drink or it has something to do with senility. But she absolutely, every time she's on the world stage, she is tripping up. She is showing signs of senility. Now, I know she's well into her 70s, and there's plenty of people who are well into their 70s that are cognitively clear as a bell. But I'm sure the people who are cognitively clear as a bell hadn't did as much bed hopping as Camilla, because we all know in her heyday, she was the top of the top tier of bed hoppers. Yes. And that's how she finally hopped into Charles' bed, and he decided to keep her and marry this other man's horse. I kid you not. But I can tell you this, the proper queen, Queen Elizabeth II, knew exactly who Camilla was. She knew she was common as dirt. She knew she was a bed hopper. She knew she was an opportunist. She knew she was not queen material. That is why, even with the queen being in the shape that she was in, did not want Camilla to be the queen. She wanted her to be the queen consort, because at the end of the day, she knew who Camilla was. That Camilla came from a long line of whores, of mistresses. Yes, this is her heritage. She has actually done better than the ones that came before her. She has managed to get the big hat. But let me tell you, the proper queen, Queen Elizabeth II, knew exactly, like I said earlier, who Camilla was. She knew she was nothing but a bed hopping opportunist, and who would absolutely tarnish the institution, the monarchy, and she was right. That's all she has done. And that is, she's one of the reasons why it's circling the drain. But we can't dismiss Charles and his behavior, and William and his mannequin's behavior. But Camilla plays her part in the demise of this institution. And all I can say to that is good riddance. And the squatty that reposted Not My King said, that's your queen. Yep, United Kingdom, this is your queen. How embarrassing. I'm just saying. And another squatty came up under Not My King's post and said this: she really doesn't know how to behave. How rude, just walking straight past them. She is a complete waste of space and utter embarrassment to the country. I think it's something going on with Camilla. I really do. She continues to wander around looking like I said, looking for her invisible dog, not knowing where she's at. Every time they are on tour, this comes up. It comes up. And you can't tell me something is not going on with Camilla. But time will tell. I'm just saying. All right, y'all, I'm going to put this up, and I must say I did get a chuckle out of it. And it seems to be that Charles's plane, the wheels hadn't left the tarmac. At least they hadn't even cleared the tarmac before the Quebec legislature voted unanimously to cut all ties with the monarchy. I kid you not. And this squatty posted that and said this: Charles the Cruel had barely left Canada when the legislators in Quebec's National Assembly unanimously adopted a motion on Tuesday to cut all ties with the monarchy. The vote was at 3:06 p.m. Charles the Cruel left Canada shortly after 1 p.m. I mean, Quebec is saying we don't want to have nothing to do with these parasites. Can you blame them? What kind of modern world are we living in that you have a king that lords over you? I saw some people, they did, I think it was ITV was up there, and they were interviewing some people, and it was the older people. They were in wheelchairs and whatnot, and they were saying they were so glad the king came because he's going to show Donald Trump that they don't want to be the 51st state uh, of the United States and all this nonsense. And let me tell y'all something about that. That never was going to fly. That was just chaos that they were throwing out there as a smoke screen to do all of their other stuff that they wanted to do. But I digress. And they're saying that the king is going to show Donald Trump that Canada is not going to be the 51st state. Well, do y'all have y'all took a gander at your king? Charles is not going to protect anybody from anything. And he's not going to have to because, like I said, that was just a smoke screen in the first place. It is ridiculous. Canada is a sovereign nation. It's ridiculous. But I digress. But when they start talking to the younger people, they literally talk to some people who did not care about Charles being there and did not care for the monarchy. And they were like, no, we ain't down with the monarchy at all. This is 2025. And I was shocked that ITV had did that because it was definitely a mixed bag. People did not, it was people there that did not agree with the monarchy. Talking about he is the king of Canada. To me, that's just as ridiculous as Canada becoming the 51st state of the United States. I mean, it's all so crazy. I'm just saying. But Quebec is not playing with Charles. They don't want to have nothing to do with it. And it's my understanding that Quebec is a French province of Canada. And we all know how the French feel about monarchy. So I must say, I am not surprised that this French province rejects that institution and Charles and his horse. I'm just saying. All right, y'all, I'm going to put this one up. And of course, Not My King had to chime in on what happened at the National Assembly in Quebec. And it said this. Well, that went well. King Charles III had barely left the country as the National Assembly unanimously adopted a motion on Tuesday to cut all ties with the monarchy. Yes, that went well, didn't it, Charles? You dropping a puck and walking around aimlessly. They were even saying that his address to the Canadian Parliament at the opening of the Canadian Parliament was received with mixed reviews because he just do not have the weight behind him. He was talking about multiculturalism and he has done nothing but ran off the only black member of his family. He has been outed as the royal racist. And so people were side eyeing him, as they should, because Charles is such a trash individual. And I'm going to put this up, and this is just a perfect example of the trash individual that Charles is. Kaiser posted this, and it's an article out there. You know how she does. She writes an article about an article, and it's talking about Frogmore Cottage has been vacant for 2 years. No one knows what to do with it. And she wrote an article about it. Now, I must admit that I did not read the article because I could have cared less. I don't think I could have cared any less if I had tried. But to me, this right here just proves what a trash individual Charles is. He intentionally took this cottage away from Harry and Meghan because he did not want Harry and Meghan in the United Kingdom. He has been perfectly clear to the people who have been paying attention that this trash father, this trash grandfather, this trash king, this trash small man never ever wanted to have a relationship with Archie or Lily. And he said what he said about Archie's skin tone because that was who he was. He's a racist. And I believe he has feelings about those children. I really do. He doesn't want to have a relationship with those kids. All he wants to do is try to use them in some way to his advantage. That's it. He has no desire whatsoever to have a relationship with Harry, Meghan, or those two babies, because if he did, Frogmore Cottage would still be Harry and Meghan's UK home like the proper queen intended it to be. Charles, the minute the queen blew out her last breath, he was taking Frogmore Cottage away from Harry and Meghan. And then they try to run stories about how he wants to meet, he wants to have a relationship with Archie and Lilibeth. Stop it. Because if he really wanted to have a relationship with Archie and Lilibeth, they would still have a UK home. Charles did what he did and he meant what he meant. And that was he was cutting off all ties to Harry, Meghan, and those babies. And like I said, all they're used to him now is to use them in some way to enrich himself. Look how we have saw headlines this week, him being in Canada, connecting him to Harry in some kind of way, trying to get some eyeballs, trying to get some clicks off of the back of Harry's name. This is what Charles is about. He is all about himself. Always has been, always will be. We all know Prince Philip knew exactly who Charles was, and he said he was, in no uncertain words. Now, this is not a direct quote, but he didn't have much confidence in Charles to be a successful monarch. And he said that is why he encouraged the Queen to hold on as long as possible because they knew who they were dealing with. Charles have just absolutely proven them right. He's such a loser. And for him to have this home to go unused for 2 years says everything. It wasn't about making room to put Andrew in there. That was just it was a made up lie. It was cover. I'll put it that way. It was cover for him to do what he wanted to do. And that was to kick Harry and Meghan out. And that's what he did. And he has pretty much kicked Harry out of the country because Harry doesn't have any security really when he goes to the United Kingdom. He doesn't have any security really. This is Charles. He don't give a tinker's damn about the Sussexes. So don't get it twisted. And the squatter came up under it and said, I can't believe that the Sussexes paid all that money. They should have been refunded. The royal family are completely effing a-holes. Where is the lie? Where is it? Charles, trash, trash, trash. All right, y'all, I'm going to put this one up too. And this is from Kaiser as well. And she wrote an article about William and Kate being back on vacation. And I must confess again, I did not read the article because, again, I did not care. But I did want to make a comment about it. Now, when William and Kate did two back-to-back engagements, the Squatties was buzzing about the fact that they felt that they were going to go on vacation. This was a lead up to them going on vacation again. And of course, you can say whatever you want to. Squatties be knowing what they're talking about. And little did we know that that's exactly what they had done. Exactly what the squatties had predicted. That they were on vacation. How do we know? Because of this horrible, horrific incident that happened in Liverpool with this driver running into people, running over people, so many people injured. I mean, really, really sad. And when I say I didn't care about this story, I'm definitely not talking about the people of Liverpool. I'm talking about William and Kate. These two lazy, mediocre individuals who does nothing but go on vacation and take the taxpayers' money. When they become king and queen, it is going to be interesting to say the least. How long will the taxpayers of Great Britain put up with a king and queen that never does anything to benefit them in any form or fashion? Just deadbeats with a hat, parasites with a tiara. That is exactly what it's going to be like when they take the reins. I'm just saying. But yeah, I just wanted to make that comment. I did not read the article. You can go on the Celebici site if you're interested and read the article. But like I said, I just could not stir up enough interest for me to read anything about William and Kate and their blatant laziness. It's ridiculous. Kaiser had wrote Prince William and Kate interrupt their vacation to make a statement about Liverpool. Yes, on vacation again. People are going through a cost of living crisis, but these people have no sympathy whatsoever and have no shame. Aren't you ashamed? Where is the shame? And where is the scrutiny that should come from the British media? Because they have their nose 5,000 miles away in Harry and Meghan's business, who take not one penny from the taxpayer. But yet and still, here are these two parasites who do 2 days of work and go on vacation. Now, that is crazy and are spending the taxpayer money. But yet and still, I bet you today, it is over 100 articles written about Harry and Meghan, scrutinizing everything that they do. But these two mediocre individuals that are on the taxpayer dole goes on vacation every two engagements. They are due 2 days of work and then they're off on vacation, but yet and still they're in Harry and Meghan's business and not theirs. Mind the business that pays you. Mind the business of that family over there. This is what gets me so hyped, that Harry and Meghan are so overly scrutinized and they are not even living on the same continent that these rags are, that they take not one penny from the British taxpayer, but yet and still they all up in their business. I just saw Maureen had written a article about Megan's business, talking about where she went wrong in her business. If you don't shut up, if you don't shut your mouth up, because at the end of the day, whatever Megan does with her business is her business, because it has nothing to do with you. But yet and still, you have no time to report on a couple who does not work and take millions and millions and even $1 billion a year from the taxpayer. So stop it. Stop it right now. It's disgusting to me. This is why I have no time whatsoever with with all this faux outrage about Harry and Meghan. If you want to be outraged, go and look into this couple and what they're doing. They're the one taking your money. They're the one picking your pockets. So worry about that, Maureen. All right, y'all, I'm going to put this up. And this particular article is about Vanessa Feltz and the lies that she's out in these internet streets peddling. And if you're a squatter, you pretty much know who Vanessa Feltz is. She's the one that has that show. I think it's called Vanessa, and it comes on after the Jeremy Vine show on what is it, Channel 5 over there across the pond. And it has been lacking, to say the least. It has been struggling trying to find an audience. And what does she do because it's struggling, because it's failing? What does she do? She enlists the name of Meghan, trying to get some clicks, trying to get some eyeballs. Absolutely. This is what she's out here doing, telling the Daily Express that Meghan reached out to her through Omid Scobie to tell her thank you for defending her. Yes, this is the lie that she's out here peddling. And this particular squatty posted it. And as you can see, the name of the article, it says Meghan Markle's emotional message to Vanessa Feltz following stars support. When has Vanessa Feltz supported Harry or Meghan? I think one time she did get on Angela Levin, but who wouldn't get on that liar? You can only stand so many lies that be falling out of her mouth at once, to the point where you have to just, say enough is enough. But that's the only time that I have ever known her to defend Harry or Meghan. And her show, she is a troll. She never has anything nice to say about Meghan, especially. Now, they kind of are hands off on Harry, because they just still hoping against hope that Harry might return, leave his family, leave his wife, leave his children, and come back over there so Charles and William can put their foot on his neck. They still hoping for that. Their little heart just flutters just with that thought. So they kind of leave Harry alone, but Meghan is always the target when it comes to her show. But now she wants us to believe that Meghan somehow reached out to her through Omid Scobie to just thank her for the support. Stop it. Stop it. Is nobody believing that? And it says exclusive Express columnist Vanessa Feltz has revealed that the Duchess of Sussex reached out to her after she defended Meghan Markle on television. I don't believe it. Nobody believes that nonsense. This is her just using Meghan's name for clout. That's all it is. And then it goes on to say, speaking exclusively to Express.co UK ahead of the launch of the columnist's new Channel 5 series, simply entitled Vanessa, the 63-year-old veteran broadcaster confessed Meghan Markle had previously got in touch with her via royal journalist Omid Scobie. This is the lie she's out here peddling. And that's all they do. They just wish Meghan would absolutely throw them a bone. If one of them had got a jar of jam, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, they would have absolutely just peed on themselves. They would have. She would have had to change her adult diaper, her Depends, if one jar of jam had showed up on her doorstep. This is who these people are. They want to absolutely use Meghan as clout. They want Meghan to say anything to them, to acknowledge them. And the squatty that posted this said this. Also, while I'm on the topic of Vanessa Feltz, she has got to be a delusional liar, since she has become a major Meghan Sussex troll and has used her platform recently to troll Prodigy and tell Meghan to be private. This claim that Scobie passed on a message of thanks to her from Meghan is so bizarre. It's deranged. Where is the lie? Meghan does not talk to Omid Scobie. They have always tried to paint Omid as a part of Meghan's inner circle, and that's not true. Omid has just only been a reporter, a journalist that chose to be fair, to call the balls and strikes, not to put his finger on the scale and try to bootlick for that family. That's the only thing. And of course, I'm sure Harry and Meghan appreciates that, but Omid is not a part of Harry and Meghan's inner circle. They still with the BS. They are. And like this particular squatty, that right there makes me believe that this never happened. This delusional liar. Because Omid is not a part of Meghan's inner circle. Why would she send a message through him? Even when they wrote that book, Meghan did not meet with Omid and his partner. I think it was, what was the name of the book Omid and that woman wrote? Finding Freedom. That's it. And he never met with Meghan. They always pretended like he sit down with Meghan. No, he did not. He sit down with Meghan's staff, and I think it was probably Jason Knopf at the time, because remember Jason Knopf was the private secretary for both Harry and Meghan and William and Kate. Y'all remember that? That, well, we ain't gonna talk about that particular thing. But then, after the book came out and Harry and Meghan's documentary came out, we found out a lot that was in the book was not true. They had fed him information that was not true about Harry and Meghan. So, Omid is not in Harry and Meghan's inner circle. So, this woman needs to stop with the delusional lies. I'm just saying. All right, y'all, I'm gonna put this one up. And this same squatty reposted where Omid had came under what she had said about Vanessa Feltz being a delusional liar and absolutely liked it. And as you can see, there he is. He liked it. And then this squatty reposted that and said this. I said the suggestion by Vanessa Feltz was bizarre and deranged, and I am taking this as a quiet, dignified agreement. Yes, Omid is saying that she is a liar. He agrees with what this squatty is saying, that this Vanessa Feltz is out here clout chasing on Meghan's name. Because at the end of the day, Meghan is the most famous thing that ever hit that island nation. And they just cannot give her up. They just cannot quit her and Harry, because the alternative is to focus on what they have left behind. And at the end of the day, they prove each and every time that they go out in the public that the public really do not care about these people. They're not interested in them. And this is why they just cannot quit Harry and Meghan. I'm just saying. All right, y'all, I'm going to put this up. And I just found it so beautiful because it is in defense of our boy, Prince Harry. They've been coming for him, trying to paint him as a ne'er-do-well, someone with no direction, trying to paint him as someone who's wandering around Meghan's garden with nothing to do, a stay-at-home father with no direction. Stop it. Stop it. And this particular post to me just absolutely defends him in the way that he needs to be defended. And that is with the truth. and it is a repost. And the original post says this: a man determined to break the generational curse, protect his wife and children, doesn't rob charities, doesn't take from struggling taxpayers, doesn't cheat on his wife. This is a Windsor with a job, a heart, and a backbone. Hashtag Prince Harry. Oh, I love it. I love it. We defend Harry with the truth. We don't have to make stuff up. We don't have to make SHIT up like those rags over there and all those ugly old hags and trolls and toadies and minions. We just defend Harry with the truth because Harry is that dude we say he is. He is. And this squatty came in and reposted that and said this: I don't know what it is, but the older he grows, the more he looks like Diana. It's the smile and the eyes, maybe. I don't know. He does. He does. But I tell you one thing, he has that heart. He has the Diana heart. He does. And I just love him. I do. And we are not going to stand for them to run him down and paint him as something that he is not. Like I said, we defend him with the truth. I'm just saying. All right, y'all, I'm going to put this up. Now, I found this very, very interesting. And it is about Travalyst. And this was posted, and it says by Squatty, and it was posted, and it said, Prince Harry's Travalyst to launch its first version of its data hub, a single source of truth for all travel sustainability information this year. CEO Sally Davy revealed in a new interview with TDG Media. The charity will also attend events at COP30 in Brazil. Now, that's the part I find interesting because we all know that those two fake environmentalists, Charles the Turd and Peggy, love to show their face at these COP summits. Yes, pretending like they actually care about the earth, but they don't care enough to stop flying around in their helicopters and taking their private jets way to other countries to see a football game, a football match, I would say. Yes, those fake kind of environmentalists. And now Harry is going to be at COP30. Now, well, I don't know if Harry's going to be there, but Travalyst is going to be there. And what I love most about Travalyst being there is that Harry is not curtailing his life for that family over there. Even though they love to be at these summits, Harry is saying, no, I'm not going to curtail anything. If I want to go to COP or if Travelers is going to be at COP, then that's the way it's going to be. I love it. Harry and Meghan should not curtail their life for that family in any kind of way. They keep trying to pressure them to do so. But I love it that Harry and Meghan refuse to comply to their BS. Harry and Meghan has the right to live their lives free from any kind of obligation from that family. Because let's not get it twisted, that family could care less about Harry and Meghan. I'm just saying. All right, y'all. I'm gonna put this up. This was on Megan's Instagram. She's out there harvesting her vegetables, and Mama Mia is absolutely out there supervising, checking what Megan has in the bag. And I just love it. And I'll tell you another thing. These slides that Megan has on, they are going. Let me tell you, I see they have been posted and identified. Aren't they cute? Oh my goodness, Megan's feet look so cute in those slides. And this particular squatty that posted this says, cute as ever. And I must say that I agree with that. Also, I want to put this up. And this particular squatty posted this about Megan's Instagram account, her page. Megan has hit 3 million. She has. And she has hit 161 million views. This particular squatty posted this and said, I choose to stay right here. The real post on Princess Meghan's IG account has 161.4 million views in less than 5 months of activity. 3 million followers. And they said the biggest one that got the most views so far is Megan for Easter. The ducks crossing the street. Yes, that was so cute. But yes, Megan has racked up 161.4 million views on her Instagram. They can't do nothing with Megan. What can they do with Megan? Nothing. It is nobody over there across the pond can compete. They just can't. Yes, I love it. All right, y'all, I want to put this one up. And it is just such a beautiful picture of Megan and the proper queen, the real queen, the last queen, because we know we don't claim the horse. Why? Because she is common as dirt. One thing about Elizabeth II, she knew how to play her role as queen. But yes, this beautiful picture of the Queen and Meghan. And this particular squatty that posted it said, saw someone post this photo. Wow, how lovely. Look at how the Queen is looking at Meghan. And yet it's still, they take the Queen out of her box and use her to beat Meghan with a lie, talking about the queen found her ick and all kinds of old nonsense that Maureen and that scabby bunch over there at the Daily Mail come up with. They'll take the queen out and use her against Meghan, when in actuality, the queen really liked Meghan. She did. She wrote a note saying that she wanted Harry and Meghan to have security. She absolutely did. She made sure she met her great grandchildren, Archie and Lilibeth, more than what Charles has done, because I know what people say he has met Lilibeth. I don't believe it. I don't believe Charles has met Lilibeth. We have no kind of proof that he has, except a leak coming from Buckingham Palace. And we all know they do nothing but lie over there. So I don't believe it. I don't. But the Queen made sure she met both of them. This is what the Queen did. And she really liked Meghan. She allowed Meghan to do things that she never allowed anybody else, Kate or the horse, to do. That's why they hated her. That's why they were trying to destroy her. Meghan went on the royal train. Hey, they never went on the royal train. The Queen never, ever, ever invited Kate on the royal train to stay overnight. And the Queen babysat Guy. Y'all remember Guy was riding around with the Queen. Yes, they were so jealous of Meghan. They really, really was, because the Queen had a soft spot for Meghan. And you can see it in her face that the Queen really liked Meghan. Meghan came to Christmas before she was an official part of the family. The Queen did that. No other fiance had ever done that before Meghan. Yes, the Queen did a lot of things that she had never done before because she really liked Meghan. And this picture right here, like this Squatty said, is very, very lovely. And you can see that everything that they say about the Queen when they try to take her out of her box and beat Meghan with her is absolutely a lie. It is a lie. And you can see it in the Queen's face. All right, y'all. I'll see y'all next time. Bye.